Terrance. Andre said from the Sporting News. Just talked to Errol. He said he hopes to get the rematch and he would like to have the rematch at 154 pounds. Are you interested in moving up in weight for the rematch, or does it have to be at 47?
It definitely don't have to be at 47. Like I said, I'm in a hurt business. 47 was kind of hard for me too. I was already talking about moving up in weight and challenging Charlo. So 54 wouldn't be outreach of anything.
One follow-up with, how did you pull off getting Eminem to walk you out tonight?
I don't know. It was just, I throw a rock in a haystack and he replied, and I told him to pull up and he was like, I'm there. Are you one of my favorite fighters? And that showed, a lot of support for me, and that showed what level I'm at in the boxing world.
What up? It's your boy, back again. Marlo knows basketball and Marlo knows boxing. Back to y'all with another one. After a crazy, amazing night of boxing, historical. I know I was wrong, and I know a lot of y'all gon' eat me up in the comment section. I know that, and I'm ready for it. I was wrong. I can admit that I was wrong. I underestimated Terrance Crawford, man. I underestimated this man. He is one of the greatest of all time. Like, historical. And I'm going to say this a lot. You're going to hear the word historical a lot in this video, because that's what kind of performance that Terrance Crawford put on last night, and that's what kind of fighter he is. A historically great fighter. The man put on a performance for the ages. I did not see that coming. Everybody knows that, watch my last video, the breakdown of this fight. I picked Errol Spence to win by unanimous decision. I felt confident in that pick. Even though I picked Errol Spence by a unanimous decision, I still thought the fight would be close. I thought it would be a good fight. I thought it would go back and forth. The fight did not go back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. It was a one-sided ass beating, just like Errol Spence said it would be. Errol Spence said it would be a one-sided ass beating, and it was. But he's the one that took the one-sided ass beating. Terrance Crawford beat Errol Spence like he was his daddy. Terrance Crawford beat Errol Spence like he was his dad. The same way that Terrance Crawford beat Errol Spence is the same way that Joe Jackson used to beat his children. And I'm against child abuse, so I hate to say that, but that's what it looked like. It looked like a father beating his child. While I was watching the fight, honestly, I wanted to call Child Protective Services, because it didn't look like it was legal. The way he was beating this boy up, like, oh my gosh, man. And Errol Spence is my man. I love Errol Spence, and I still got love for Errol Spence because he did not give up. He kept fighting his fight, and he kept coming forward no matter what, even though he was getting a crap beat out of him. But Errol Spence has the heart of a fighter. Errol Spence has the heart of a fighter, man. He gave everything he had. He left it all out there in the ring. And that is like so commendable, and it's great for, if you're a boxing fan, even if you don't like Errol Spence or you hate his fans or whatever, even if that's the case and you don't like Errol Spence, you have to respect that. And if you're a boxing fan, you should love it, because it's bringing attention to the sport. The way Errol Spence fought last night, he didn't back down. He didn't try to run. He didn't do anything. He didn't duck nothing. He went straight forward continuously the whole fight, even though he was getting his ass whooped. He didn't care. He was still going to come forward, and he was still going to give all of his effort to try to hurt Terrance Crawford. And that's why we love the sport of boxing. It's combat. You know what I'm saying? He went out on his shield. Errol Spence is a warrior. He is a true warrior. And I said that in my prediction, even though I was wrong about how I thought the fight would end with me picking Errol Spence to win by unanimous decision. I was right about the fact that Errol Spence never stops coming forward. He never stops coming forward. He never stops coming. He's like the Terminator. To stop Errol Spence, you have to kill him. You have to kill him. Because he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. He's going to continue to press you. He's going to continue to apply the pressure. And he's going to continue to come forward. So there's nothing that you can do to him to make him stop coming after you. And I said that during the fight. I had a whole fight party at my house. During the fight, everybody's saying he's getting his ass whooped, this, that, and the third. And I'm saying, you're going to have to kill him. You're going to have to kill him. That's the only way that he's going to stop. You're going to have to kill him. He's like the Terminator. You're going to have to destroy him. For everybody that's watched the Terminator movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger, big fan. Everybody that's watched those movies, the Terminator is trying to destroy their target. And the only way you can stop them from trying to destroy their target is to kill him. And that's what Terrance Crawford had to do. If the referee didn't stop the fight, I'm not so sure that Errol Spence wouldn't have died in the ring trying to beat Terrance Crawford. That's what type of warrior Errol Spence is. So everybody can laugh and talk trash, and we gonna make jokes and everything like that. But Errol Spence is a warrior, and he deserves everybody's respect. But that does not exclude Errol Spence from the trash in the comedy that's about to come his way. Because, I mean, you got beat up. You got beat up bad. It was a one-sided ass beating, just like you said. But it did not go your way. Honestly, you look like Will Smith and Hitch when he had that allergic reaction. That's exactly what Errol Spence... This is what Errol Spence looked like after that fight. This is exactly what he looked like. He didn't look this bad after the car crash. Oh my gosh. Bud Crawford to Errol Spence was worse than a car accident. Oh my gosh. And we all seen the car crash and everything like that. Like that was, and you know what I'm saying? I'm glad he was okay after that. You know, obviously a big Errol Spence fan. I love Errol Spence. He's great. Pause. But you got your ass whooped badly. You look like Will Smith on Hitch. Like, that's how bad it looked. And, yeah, man, I hear you talking that rematch clause and all of that. Man, like I said, I love Errol Spence, pause. But the fact that I love Errol Spence is the reason why I don't want to see a rematch. No, we don't want to see a rematch. We've seen someone get their ass whooped and then get an immediate rematch after getting their ass whooped. And that was in 1996 when Mike Tyson fought Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield beat the shit out of Mike Tyson. Beat the dog shit out of him. Dog shit. Beat the shit out of him. And I remember this fight. I was a little kid watching this fight. And I was a huge Mike Tyson fan. I was upset about it and everything like that. Just like I'm upset right now because I'm a huge Errol Spence fan. I'm not going to duck the smoke. I'm a huge Errol Spence fan. And you know what I'm saying? I remember this feeling when Mike Tyson got beat up by Evander Holyfield. And then got an immediate Mike Tyson got an immediate rematch against Evander Holyfield after getting his ass whooped. Evander Holyfield left no doubt in the first fight. There was no reason for a rematch. But we got a rematch anyway. And in the rematch, Mike Tyson seen the fight was about to go the exact same way as the first one. And, the rest is history. We got bitten ears and all type of stuff. He bit the whole top of his ear off and spit it on the ground. It's just it'll never be forgotten. That's a moment in sports history. But what we watched last night was historical, man. It was a historical. Terrance Bud Crawford at 36 years old, and I can't believe that this is just coming to light. Like, he's just getting a huge fight at 36. Before this, everybody else that he's fought hasn't been on the level. He should have been fighting these huge fights his whole career. I mean, he had the fight at 135 against Gamboa. He had the fight when he came up to 147 against the man that beat Manny Pacquiao, which was Jeff Horn. He's fought Amir Khan, the Mean Machine, Albanesian. Like, he's fought. He should have been fighting the Danny Garcias of the world. He should have fought Keith Thurman. He should have been showing this to us for years. And I'm upset that we're just now seeing it, man. And from last night, what I saw was maybe the greatest fighter of all time. Maybe the greatest fighter of all time. Like, the greatest fighter I've ever witnessed. I've never seen someone like Terrance Crawford. Like, we're watching Floyd Mayweather and his defensive mastery. And that's what I saw last night from Terrance Crawford. Errol Spence didn't land one clean punch. He was either missing or he landed punches on gloves, arms, elbows, and shoulders. That's where his punches were landing. Errol Spence did not land one clean punch. He landed some clean body shots, but that was about it. But as far as the Terrance Crawford's face, it was arms, shoulders, elbows, and gloves. And that's all he landed when he threw a headshot. And that is reminiscent of Floyd Mayweather's defense. That's Floyd Mayweather caliber defense that we saw last night from Terrance Bud Crawford. Floyd Mayweather caliber defense. And the reason why I'm saying that this may be the greatest fighter that we've ever seen is because it wasn't just the Floyd Mayweather caliber defense that we saw. We also saw Manny Pacquiao speed and power. So in addition to the Floyd Mayweather level defense, we saw Manny Pacquiao level speed and power to go along with it. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a fighter so good defensively and has speed and power. He was dropping Errol Spence with jabs. He was hurting Errol Spence with jabs. Errol Spence has a chin. Danny Garcia couldn't hurt Errol Spence. Kell Brook couldn't hurt Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter couldn't hurt Errol Spence. Errol Spence has fought some great fighters and he's never been hurt, never been dropped, never been knocked down, never looked like he was in trouble. Terrance Crawford, Bud Crawford, had him in trouble with jabs. With jabs, he was hurting him. The man has power. He has the same power that a lot of fighters have in their power punches. The same power that a lot of fighters have in their power punches, Manny Pacquiao has in his jab. Terrance Crawford has that same power. And the difference between Terrance Crawford and Manny Pacquiao is Terrance Crawford can switch from orthodox to southpaw and has the same power that he has from either stance. From his right hand and his left hand, he has the same power. The man is ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. We've never seen a fighter like this. This is some all-time level shit that we're witnessing here. To be honest, I haven't seen a fighter like this since Pernell Whitaker. And no, I wasn't around during this time, but I'm a boxing fanatic, so I know about all the greats. So I've gone back and watched Pernell Whitaker fights, and as far as I'm concerned, you have to go back to Pernell Whitaker. You have to go back past Floyd Mayweather, past Roy Jones, past anybody else that you want to mention. You got to go back to Pernell Whitaker to get to a fighter that's on the level of the talent that we are witnessing from Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford is on this level. And then not even that, not even just to get back to the talent, even if you go back to the talent of a Pernell Whitaker is not what Bud Crawford is, because Bud Crawford has the power. He has more power. The man has power in his jab. He can knock you out with a jab. Pernell Whitaker did not have this kind of power. He had the talent of a Pernell Whitaker with the power of a prime young Mike Tyson. Terrance Crawford is bad. The boy is bad. And I have to come back to y'all about this too, man. I know I called the Sean Porter, that Terrance Crawford fight podcast Porter. My boy Tony the Savant, we was coming up with our prediction. We both Spence fans, so we was trying to find an angle for Spence, even though we watched Sean Porter get demolished by Terrance Crawford. And that's why I went back and forth on this fight, because of the Sean Porter fight, because I saw how easily that Terrance Crawford handled Sean Porter. And so I just thought that that he might do the same thing to Spence, because Spence struggled with Crawford. But then, I started looking back into my boxing knowledge. I know that Floyd Mayweather struggled with Jose Luis Castillo. Floyd Mayweather struggled with Jose Luis Castillo. And Ricky Hatton easily destroyed Jose Luis Castillo. And, of course, Floyd Mayweather easily beat Ricky Hatton. So the whole three-way theory doesn't always work. So I figured that maybe maybe Sean Porter wasn't the same fighter that he was when he fought Errol Spence, when he fought Terrance Crawford. I called him podcast Porter, like my boy Tony the Savant says. He called him podcast Porter. That wasn't podcast Porter, man. That was the same Sean Porter that Errol Spence fought. And Errol Spence and Sean Porter have similar styles, and they just come forward, and they're very aggressive fighters. They're not they're not really smart fighters. Not saying that they're dumb fighters, but they're smart in the aspect of they know how to apply pressure, but that's all they know how to do is to apply pressure. They don't know how to use their feet. They don't know how to use angles. They don't know how to use defense and to intellectually and smartly outsmart the next boxer. All they know how to do is come forward and be aggressive. But Terrance Crawford has it all, though. He's the complete fighter. Like I said, we're looking at Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather combined into one fighter. But what we need to start thinking about is what's next.
Little Charlo will fight anybody. Nigga, I ain't never ducked no smoke, nigga. Yeah. Undisputed versus undisputed. That could be a big thing in boxing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fight that's coming up next. Jermell Charlo, the undisputed champion, against Canelo Alvarez, undisputed champion. Junior middleweight undisputed versus super middleweight undisputed. Only one man is going to come out of this. And the man that does come out of it is who Terrance Bud Crawford should be fighting next. Last night was such a win for boxing. And the reason why I say it was a win for boxing as a sport is because Dana White, punk ass, and the UFC tried to put on a BS fight up against the boxing fight that we've been watching. That we've been waiting for the last 4 years. They tried to put up a BS fight up against it to try to take away the shine. Now UFC, Dana White, Joe Rogan, y'all can all kiss boxing's ass because ain't nobody care about who. Let me ask y'all a question. Who walked out Dustin Poirier to his fight last night? Who walked him out? Nobody knows. And nobody gives a damn. Because everybody was watching Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. See, Joe Rogan for years has been wishing death on boxing for some reason. I can pull up the interview right now, and I'm going to make a video about it too because Joe Rogan's full of shit. He's been wishing death on boxing for years. There's an interview from 16 years ago with him saying that there will be no more new stars in boxing, that boxing is dying, or what have you. No, and he said that before Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather blew up. You're wrong, Joe Rogan. Boxing is still bigger than MMA, and it's always gonna be. And Dana White, you full of it too, because in 2009 you already tried this. You tried this in 2009. You put up Rich Franklin versus Vitor Belfort against. You put that fight up against Mayweather versus Marquez, and you lost that one too. Nobody watched Rich Franklin and Vitor Belfort. I don't even know who won that fight, and it's all because you put it up against Mayweather and Marquez. You're not winning against boxing, bro. Boxing is a bigger sport than MMA. It's a bigger sport. Stop it. Stop trying to compete with boxing. Boxing won last night again, per usual. And that's the way it's going to stay, man. And you already know that I'm always vouch for boxing because I'm Marlo knows basketball and Marlo knows boxing. And with that said, I'm on to the next video. Y'all like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. I love all y'all, and I'm out.